And we are here with Daniel and Isaac Harris from the Fairfax basketball team. Talk a little bit about their season and their future at Newberry College. Guys, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Good, great. Tell us a little bit about your season. How did it go?
Well, it was a rebuild. It was somewhat of a retooling year for us after a 21 season from the regional Final Four, where we lost to Westfield by a close one. It was an up and down year. It was 12-10. We finished in the winning column, but we had high expectations to go to the regional Final Four and go farther and make it to the state tournament. But we just fell short in the conference first round against Washington, against a very good Washington elite team.
Okay.
Pretty much I'm going to pick up what Daniel said. It was an interesting year, 12-10. We still finished about 500. Our senior class finished with, I think, some pretty decent wins after last year. Just trying to carry off of what the seniors last year left before us, going to the region semis. But we fell short in the conference tournament to Washington Lee. But it was a pretty decent year. I feel like we underachieved both years, last year and the year before. But it was a decent run this year. It was all right.
Guys, kind of take us through your background playing basketball together coming up. Did you always play on the same teams? Have you ever played on different teams?
I think there was only one instance in our life where we played on separate teams. Like, that's really only at basketball camps. And I know when we first started playing, like when we were 6, my dad was coaching in the Wrestling Youth League, and we played on separate teams. He was coaching 2 separate teams just for the fun of it. And we played each other. It was funny. But other than that, no, we've always been on the same team other than basketball camps and elite camps.
Who won the game? Don't act like you don't remember.
I think it was split.
I think his team won. We'll go with that. I think his team won. It was so long ago. I think we were playing at Sunrise Valley Elementary in Reston. It was a long time ago.
I almost forgot about those days. Those were fun days. Fun days.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys, you have an interesting basketball journey in your high school career. Talk a little bit about that. Start with your freshman year. Where were you and where did that take you?
Well, we started at Oakton High School. We were a lot of high expectations for us at Oakton. It was the year we started the year after when the Coyer twins, Oakton went undefeated, and many people were talking and saying, "Oh, we could be like them, hopefully, or do something similar for the Oakton for the Oakton boys basketball team." Things that it was a good opportunity. It just didn't work out at the end. So we were arrived with the opportunity to play at Atlantic Shores Christian School by Coach Walter Webb, and we went there middle.
We went there right between right before after Christmas break, during winter break. We decided to make that transition to move to Shores. Just based off some circumstances. Our mother was working. She was commuting remote from Norfolk to Virginia, from Norfolk to Fairfax, and she decided I think for the best as a family, we're talking to my mom and dad, and basketball-wise, decided the best to make this move down to Shores because better academically prepared for college and basketball. And then we went to Shores for our freshman year, and we stayed there another year. Even Coach Webb, during that time, also left during our sophomore year to come back home, and we stayed with the new coach for a year. And it was a good ride at Shores for a little bit for the 2 years. I mean, Daniel, I think it was a pretty interesting 2 years we were there.
We won
in total.
A conference championship. Won a conference championship. 2 state tournament appearances. We played against Division I players. Chris Clark, who's at Virginia Tech. Devin Robinson, who recently declared for the NBA draft and is at the University of Florida. We also played against many other Division I players.
Marcus Evans at Rice also played for Cape Henry. We played some pretty tough competition when we were at Shores down there. And then at the end of our sophomore year, my parents decided instead of staying at Shores for 2 years, they decided it's time to bring us home to come back home. And we decided, after looking for shopping around at a couple schools, we decided to come to Fairfax High School because of the academic opportunities that it proposed. And a little memory back, my brother and I, before we moved into our current house, we went to Greenbrier East for a little bit and Greenbrier East is a feeder school to Fairfax. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our childhood friends are at Fairfax, and we ran into them, and it was just it felt like a good fit.
Okay.
So, like our teammate Nate Roberts, we knew him for many years as kids, playing against each other in county ball, and also hanging around hanging around with his cousins as well.
And just family, we've kind of all known each other through sports since we were really, really young, and that's another thing that attracted us to Fairfax.
So take us through, you moved, now you're back, you're playing at Fairfax. What benefit is it being twins on the court? Is there a certain sense that you have for each other? Is there a certain feel that you have for each other on the court?
I think there is a certain sense, you know what I mean? There is when we're both together playing on the floor, we know what we can do. You know what I mean? Like it's like the little things, If I see him go for a cut, I will automatically pass it to him. If it's in for like a transition play, if I'm dribbling up full court and I see him, I'll just automatically pass it to him. Sometimes if we're playing pickup, it would be a no-look pass. It would be a tip in.
We would follow each other's shots. Just like one misses a shot, we try to follow each other for the rebound, or follow each other if someone made a turnover. We try to recover for the other. We kind of like feeding off each other's energy. Like if one does a mistake, we'll try to recuperate and try to recover for that one person. It's really we always piggyback off each other off certain possessions. But we try to get each other involved most of the time. So it's a benefit. And a lot of negative too, a little bit. Yeah. Sometimes refs get us confused, even if our numbers are different, and the announcer's saying the other thing. Sometimes refs kind of give Daniel they give my fouls to Daniel, or they give Daniel's fouls to me. So there's been some instances where we noticed that through just looking at the book and through the pattern, but that doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, sometimes when I get frustrated in the game and the ref tries to intentionally foul you out, they probably pin it on him.
Sometimes, yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting, but that's the really positive negatives of it, I guess. Usually.
So what you're saying is that he hurt your stat line at different points throughout the year because they gave your points to him? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's actually happened that's happened one time. That's actually happened one time. Some points went to Daniel or some points went to me.
One of the games, I think, it was years back, probably our sophomore year.
Yeah, I think there was a game during our sophomore year at Shores and there was an instance. And I know there's been a few AAU games that there's been like that as well, where there's an instance where the points got mixed up or the fouls got mixed up because they couldn't tell us apart. It's all good though.
So you guys are off to Newberry College next year.
Yes, sir, yes.
What are your expectations? It's off to college, is a new chapter, not just basketball, but just in college in general. What are your expectations?
We have one expectation. First, I'm going to explain the basketball part, and he'll probably explain the college life part.
And I'll piggyback on basketball. Go ahead, Daniel.
Basketball, survive. Coach Dave Davis, he's one of the winningest coaches in Division II. He has a very good track record on making it to the NCAA tournament. Newberry hasn't recently, though, made it to the tournament, but basically the expectation is survive, because the style of play for Newberry is up and down. Up and down. A lot of grittiness, and a lot of defense, a lot of three-point shooting. So,
Coach Davis, Coach Davis mentioned to us, you can't, most programs, they'll give you a playbook as soon as they recruit you, say, come ready before we can start training camp. Coach Davis didn't give us a playbook. He gave us a workout sheet to what to do, how to prepare, but he told us that there isn't a good way to really describe Newberry basketball unless you're there on campus,
sure,
in practice. He gave us a pretty good hybrid scenario how they play. It's a lot of running. A lot of people don't believe that, but it's 40 minutes of hell. Nolan Richardson, Arkansas defense is similar to Havoc, VCU, Shaka Smart's Havoc. So it's a hybrid mix of those, and you might get what Newberry basketball is, but it's a lot of running up and down. We say survive because a lot of the freshmen, I know a lot of college freshmen go in the expectation, I'm going to start. I was a big man on campus.
Right.
At Newberry, that's not the case. They want to, usually some of the freshmen mostly redshirt, but for us, he told us a lot of the freshmen survive. At one point, everyone transfers, and just because how hard it is, and a lot of recruits don't try to survive there, usually because it's usually hard work. But that's the beauty of the thing that attracted us. They're not just going to give it to you because you're named from your high school or where you came from. You have to earn every possession, every moment you're there in the every locker room. Even you have to earn a spot to get into the locker room at Newberry. Coach Davis has a rule: if each player, or from a coach to the player, we have to nominate each other during the off-season workouts before the season starts. And if you're not nominated, and you're nominated based off your hard work, your work ethic, and how you prepare yourself as a practice as a player,
And how you make sure you're making the team better.
Right.
And yourself, and
from what we believe, there was a couple freshmen that still did not make it to the locker room even through the whole year,
Yeah.
based off just their teammates or their coaches didn't feel like, hey, they haven't earned their spot yet.
Right.
but most likely they're gonna earn it this year.
We're doing our best. We're going to try to earn our spot in the locker room. That's our biggest goal, honestly, is survive, earn our spot in the locker room, and just kind of compete.
Okay.
And hopefully soon we'll be getting that rotation, because the rotation's a platoon. So
Platoon offense set up as well. So
12
Cool.
deep,
12 deep. They usually rotate in and out immediately. So I remember I was watching the game on the live stream, and the announcer's like, "Man, the players weren't even in there for a whole 30 seconds. New 5 in, new 5 out," and that usually wears out teams. So it's a really fast style of play, but we're excited for it. It's very different.
Good.
Excellent. Well, you guys, you've had a chance to see competition around the area from two different views, either up close and also down when you were at the beach. I'm sure you were down at state tournaments, things like that. Talk about some of the best players from the area that you've seen around here. Who are some of those guys?
You want to go first on that? You got a list.
I say for our region, it has to be Tyler Scanlon, I think, and Blake Francis. Blake Francis, my dad and his dad have been friends for many years. They've been talking.
We've grown up with Blake and played teammates with him, competed against him.
You know what I mean?
Blake and Tyler, to them, they're pretty good players, in my opinion. I think Tyler's a good shooter, and I think he's a smart player the way he plays. Now, in my opinion, he's not like agile, like extremely quick. Oh, he's like this extremely quick guard, but the way he plays is like you can tell that he takes his time, and like he's very patient with what moves he should take and how he should shoot the basket. Same with Blake. Blake is a really good ball handler, I think, in my opinion. He's not super quick, but he's quick. I think he's going to be a solid point guard for a college somewhere, wherever he commits. But another player, just I think in the whole DC area, that also is just a fascinating player, in my opinion. I think Markel Fultz, very fascinating. Just how he kind of just rose, just going through the process, playing through freshman and JV, and from what I've seen, just the way how he's versatile as a guard. He's playing every position, and he's defending every position. He's defending. His defense is pretty up there.
Very good.
Very up there.
Very good.
Yeah, very up
showed
there.
he earned that right to be a McDonald's All-American, be nationally ranked, and I hope he gets drafted high in next year's summer's draft. So.
Yeah.
So, and then there's
for the beach, I'll probably have to say my favorite player from when we were playing down at Shores, it was probably had to be we played against Cape Henry. My favorite, I really liked Chris Lark. He was an energy guy, rebounded, was able to play multiple positions. At the time, when he played against us, he was just mostly like mostly playing at the 4 and 5 and the 3. He had Marcus Evans as a point guard there, so he didn't really do much point guard against us because we didn't need to. We lost by 44. That was our fault.
He gave us a pretty good beatdown, but you could tell with Chris. Chris was just versatile. He was like, I guess in that high school game, he was acting like kind of free, just all over the place, defensively, offensively.
Right.
He was doing anything and possibly until to get to that point where beating us by 44, to do anything to make sure that this game is over.
Right.
And that kind of showed. And I feel like he's gonna, if he give him some time at Virginia Tech, he's gonna translate. And I think he's gonna be one of the, in my opinion, in my deepest opinion, I think he's gonna be one of the best players to ever come out of Virginia Tech if all goes in place.
A public school player I could say from the beach. We didn't play much of the public schools, and I forgot many names from the public schools. We did play against Northview, and we did play against Ocean Lakes recently for Fairfax. I can name one player. I can't name one top of the player on my head, but I can say I really like Travis Fields. We didn't get to play. We weren't fortunate enough to play against Norcrum, but I really liked how he played. He's a 4-year varsity player, three-time state champion. He's going to be playing at ODU as a walk-on next year. I really am excited to see what happens to him, what he does, and I hope he stays at ODU because he's something that ODU needs, and he's a really good player. I like watching him play on his tape, and that's one player I can say from the 7'7".
Then I guess there's one player I just thought of just recently going back to Travis, another ODU commit, Xavier Green from Williamsburg Christian.
Xavier.
I liked his game. He doesn't, the way he carries himself off the court, you don't think he's a big time assuming player. Like, oh, he's just another good player, but the guy plays like the guy plays like he's ready to go. Like he plays like he's ready to play in college, and he looks like a college player. The way he moves, he's athletic, he can shoot, and he's not scared. And when we played, he wasn't scared to play against anybody. He wasn't scared to play against anybody. And seeing him, we went down recently with Fairfax to play Shores actually in the Bishop Sullivan Catholic tournament. When we saw him play before us. And Xavier, he just looks like he got better, and just his shooting's even better, and the way he's just a really versatile player. And I think
Williamsburg Christian at the time is small, and they play against a big time team down there, Norfolk Collegiate, with a big three of Brian commits, Sebastian Bash Towns, Adam Grant, and another Division I prospect.
Kainozi Chavez.
Known as K.
We could call him as K, but Norfolk Collegian's one of those big teams, big stacked teams. I guess I can say they're like Westfield of the private schools down there, similar-wise. And Williamsburg Christian is small. Xavier's one of the biggest players.
Williamsburg Christian was able to
beat him easily. He's a competitor, and that's what I like. I think ODU's going to like having him and Travis together, just having a local tandem together.
All right, talk a little bit about outside of basketball. What are your interests? What are you studying in college next year? What are your post-basketball aspirations?
Well, our post-basketball aspirations, for me, is film and television production. I might be minoring in either social media marketing or in music composition. So I'm thinking that's for me. Isaac is totally different.
Yeah, a lot of people say twins do the same thing, but Daniel and I'm going into radio broadcasting. That's my goal, is broadcasting and TV production, and then possibly a minor in social media marketing. Dan and I have always been in love with just media and videography, and that's always just been a passion. And Newberry not only gave us the basketball opportunity to live that basketball dream, but Newberry, being where it's located in South Carolina, near big schools like Clemson and SC, and South Carolina, it's just a lot of TV presence for their football programs and all their athletic programs. And being close to Atlanta and Charlotte, it's like, wow,
right
there's
there.
a lot of opportunities.
Definitely.
Just in general, just to be involved in media, and ESPN has a big presence just in the South, just for all those games. So it's a good place to start.
You get SEC Network, you got all kinds of stuff down there.
So that's the big thing that attracted us.
I'm looking for Paul Feinbaum. I'm hoping to meet him.
There you go.
So they're coming to take our jobs.
Exactly.
Well, great. Well, guys, so kind of to piggyback off of that, we wanted to talk a little bit about the program that you are both involved with called Fairfax Academy. You study TV production and things like that. Talk a little bit about the Academy and that program.
The Academy, to me, we joined the Academy last year, transferring into Fairfax. That was a big reason why we loved coming here. The Academy teaches us not only TV production, but also film and cinematography as well. But everyone here, they teach us a lot about just like how to run a business, how to run a film agency, how to shoot live production, how to shoot your own film, lighting. They taught us a lot of that. Taught us a lot of those skills just in how to make it into this industry as well. The Academy's also offered a lot of opportunities to see college, to have colleges come talk to us, like film-based colleges that a lot of the other schools sometimes don't even think about. Bringing like Columbia College of Chicago to talk to us a couple times about just talking about film programs, and a bunch of other schools have came in as well to give us the opportunity to see with insight. And the beautiful thing about this class is we all come from different schools. We all come from different backgrounds on what we want to do within this media.
Everybody.
So you see type of everybody, and we all come from different media backgrounds, what we want to do. Like, I want to do radio broadcasting. Another kid wants to go just into documentary filming, or just go into TV production, just like TV, no film, no cinematography. We all blend in here, and we all learn we all learn the same basic skills to take us to into those directions for the academy.
The academy means to me is just teaches the way how to professionally how to move into the next phase to be professional of your passion. I mean, film is part of our passion. I mean, if basketball does not work out, and it's brought us many opportunities. Like we were able to work with a Korean class and teach about film over the summer during the course of our AAU season. As our AAU season died down, we were able to do a lot of school events. We were able to film the graduation last year. The Fairfax Academy has opened many doors for many students. It's not just in film, for dance, Korean, Chinese.
For all the classes it offers, it's a special place that
Cool.
I don't think you can find anywhere else in the DC area unless you go to a private school.
And
For a public school system,
and the academy programs, it's not just here at Fairfax Academy that opens doors. It's West Potomac, Marshall, and then also Chantilly as well. So but the academy programs overall, including this one, particular that we're here right now, is opened many doors, for many people.
Right. I'm not going to let you guys off the hook this easy. Give me one time where you may have used being twins to your advantage where other people couldn't.
Oh, there's one. Yeah, I think I was messing with sophomore year. It's at Atlantic Shores, Miss Sullivan's biology class. I remember this clearly. I used to come in there and mess with Daniel, like try to mess with her, because she always had this big claim. I still love her. No, she's one of my favorite.
If she's
teachers.
watching this, she's
she's watching this. I know she's probably gonna be upset, but I remember one day she's always claiming that she won't ever get us apart. She knows us like this. One day Daniel and I walked into class together. We weren't wearing the same thing. We were just kind of walking into class, and I do this all the time during lunch. I walk into their class and she's like, well, she told the wrong twin to get out, to leave. And I ended up staying in the class for maybe a good 15 minutes before she realized, she's like, oh, I just kicked out the wrong twin. And it was hysterical, because everyone was laughing, and I'm like, oh, hi, Miss Sullivan, just acting as Daniel, I guess, and Daniel was just outside in the hallway, just kind of there, and everyone was just laughing and giggling, just like, what just happened? I thought you knew when you got told apart. And
where was your teacher? That's what I want to know.
It was in between lunch. It was in between lunch, and I was a little late to Bible class that day. I got in trouble. I got a little. Don't worry, I don't
They're all right with it. I mean,
that was one instance that I decided to have a little fun.
There was one other memories. I mean, where sometimes
I got in trouble though.
Sometimes coaches, sometimes coaches mix us up. I mean, I remember when we went to an elite camp. Queens, they mixed us up a little bit, because at the time he was just coming back from the knee surgery. They thought I had the knee problem. Like, no. And then there was a few instances, here.
They told you to run suicide. You're like, oh, my knee.
Not like that.
Not like that.
They just got confused on which player it was.
Which player they were trying to talk to.
But other than those particular moments in that particular moment, I mean, I got in trouble at the end, but it was funny. I think she did, at the time, she didn't think too lightly of it, but I bet it was a funny memory back then.
Yeah.
It was, but I mean, not too many memories other than those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really it with us on our memories.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, good luck to you guys next year. We'll be following you closely to see how you succeed in college. So.
And more importantly, waiting for you to not come and take our jobs.
That's right.
We won't. I do want to say hello to all the people out there watching us. So thank you.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate
Definitely.
it.
A little nervous at the same time, but we're having fun with it.
Having fun. We can't wait to be a wolf. So
Great.
Very cool.
Thank you guys very much.
thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Yep.
Thank you.